Good day, guys. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how best to use a fair value gap. So we call them FVGs. Call them FVGs. So a fair value gap is FVG, meaning fair value gaps. And so what is a fair value gap? A fair value gap is a space on charts where price moved too fast and there wasn't enough trading or balance between buyers and sellers. I'll show you guys on chart. But I brought this simple analogy, to explain to you guys so that you guys, even if you did not know anything like fair value gap before, just with this, my simple explanation, you'll be able to understand. It says price in the market moves like footsteps. Normally, it steps one by one, filling each spot on the ground. But sometimes price jumps. It skips a step. That skipped step is what we call a fair value gap. So, this is like the simplest, kind of like the simplest way you can get to understand what a fair value gap is, especially this, my second explanation here. So let's go to see, what it is based on candles. So basically, price moves step by step, just like we should, yeah, and it's supposed to move, close, any sell that it does, close it up, then move, close it up. That's why you see that price does not move in a straight line. Price doesn't move in a straight line. Rather, it's when it moves, it goes back before it comes down, it goes back before it comes down. That's how price moves. That's how price moves. You get so but here you notice that this place was open down. This place was open down. This place when price sold up to this point, I'm thinking this green candle here, this one is for sellers. Sellers FVG. Sellers FVG here. So when this place opens down, yeah, um, price will usually want to come back to fill it because just like our definition here, it says that skipped step is what we call fair value gap. And let me read this over again for you so that you guys understand. A fair value gap is a space on charts where price moved too fast and there wasn't enough trading or balance between buyers and sellers. So in this case now, sellers dominated this gap here. So we need buyers to go fill it. So buyers price will buy up to that point so that they can sell from there. That's what fair value gap means majorly. Basically, when it comes to sellers FVG, for buyers FVG, it means buyers fill that place. As opposed to, on charts, we can in trading, we only have buyers and sellers. So this is a buyers FVG because it's only buyers that donated this place, and then price will come back into that place that I demarcated this my red line and buy. But yeah, this is a very common way of looking at fair value gaps. But in this video, I'm going to show you the best way to use fair value gaps when you want to use them as you know, a point of support or resistance, because that's basically what most people use it for, like just like this. They were selling from it here, they were buying from it here. You see, so let's see the best way to actually use a fair value gap. The way I use my own fair value gap best, and if you backtest this, you will see how crazy it is and how this, because most times this will usually fail. Even sometimes when it's in line with market structure, it will fail. But this one I want to show you, um, the failure rate is very, very minimal. Like we are talking about in 100%, if it's going to fail, it's probably going to fail just like 5% or 10 max. So, but this one here is just most times itself is just 50-50. But people don't want to admit that. But yeah, let me show you guys the best way to use it. The best way I use mine is for this seller scenario now. For this seller scenario, yeah. Um, Once price, and I'll show you guys with charts here after I finish doing it. Once price are sold from it here, it might not even take out this though. It might just be something like this that it does. It might just be something like this, you know. And then price, let's say price buys from here. Let's say price buys again from here. You see this fair value gap that is sold from before. When price eventually buys, yeah, when price eventually buys above it and closes that fair value gap with the body of a candle, with the body, if price comes back there, that's a very strong point to buy from. Do you get? So this is just like for you guys that have studied my zones, this is using fair value gap as a zone, as a third generation zone, because we are thinking this place now is the first generation. This where this happened was second generation. Meanwhile, this real, initial fair value gap is the third generation. So that's the best way to use fair value gap for buy. Let's look at this sell scenario too, because sometimes it might not even buy like this. Sometimes you might not buy and start buying just like you were thinking. You might just do something like this, just to trace a bit from that fair value gap and then take it out, especially for fair value gaps that fail. Do you get? Once they take it out, that's a very good zone or area to sell from. Do you get? That's a very good area to sell from. Let's look at that. So look at this. This was the fair value gap before. Price entered the fair value gap, bought a bit, not really buy, failed. Do you get? Once price, you know, closes that fair gap with the body of a candle and then comes back into it, that area there is where is a very good area for sell. So this is the best way I use my fair gap. Let's go to the chart to see one or two examples. Let's go to the chart to see one or two examples. Yeah. So look at this. Yeah. Look at this. Price formed a fair value gap here. Price formed a fair value gap here. Came into it, but then broke it down. It didn't really buy much, broke it down. When price came back into the premium of that range, into that place, you notice that price did not even go for, as opposed to what people think, did not even go for this OB or this highest OB or even this fair value gap here. Price did not come for this fair value gap here. This one, price didn't come for it. You see that what price came for, because that zone is a very strong kind of zone, especially if you are doing it from the third generation, just like I just taught you. Once price gets there, it's a very good point to sell from. Let's look at this point too. I'm picking this fair value gap from here to you see this particular one here. What happened there? Let's see. Price entered it on this candle here, wicked into it and then sold, and then price closed it with the body of the candle. Once price came back there, that's a very good point to buy from. You see price no bother entering, coming for this, you know, OB here. At that point, that was the point that they used to buy. Let's check for this one. So I've shown you for this buy scenario. The other scenario there was sell scenario. Let's check this one as the last example. So what happened there? And it's best to use it in direction of price though, but at the same time, it's very strong. It's a very strong kind of zone. Look at this fair value gap here now. Look at this fair value gap here. Price came into it. Yeah, right. And it entered it here, bought a bit. This candle here, this one here was a buy. They bought, from here to here. Let me show you guys. They bought from here to here on those two candles, then closed it to the body of the candle. When price comes back there, that's a strong point that price came for. You see, price not come for the you know, OBL or week to week here, price came for that place, and that was what sent price down. So whenever you see this kind of um, fair value gaps, they are the strongest kind of zones that you can see in most cases. Yeah, so don't joke with them. I want you guys to go back to your chat, study it again and again and again till your eyes can see it. And In our next video, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can use favor lookup as a break of structure. I know we almost never find out anywhere, but I'm going to teach you guys how best to use. Favor lookup is a very important, you know, um, array, but nevertheless, I think most people use it wrongly by just using it the way most people use it. You see, so I'm going to teach you guys in the next video on how to use it for a break or structure. So thank you very much, guys. Um, have a lovely week ahead.